I didn't mean to hurt you. Coach told me to pretend.
Hey, Sooner football fans. This is your Sooner football fans podcast. You got Terry, Rob, and Caleb here. Boomer Rob.
Boomer Terry.
Boomer Caleb.
Boomer.
And we are coming at you from the beautiful Podcast Palace in Norman, Oklahoma, where Rob.
We are not affiliated with the University of Oklahoma.
But we do have eligibility left. Sorry, guys. We're watching Wheel of Fortune as we're starting off the podcast.
Don't tell people that, Terry. I think people that watch this are weird.
So we're a little bit enamored right now. Not with Vanna White like we used to be, though. Right?
Right. Well, I mean, you know, she's still got a pretty good fastball.
I didn't know who she even was.
Yeah, but anyway, let's get our must-haves out of the way. First off, we want to say hey to Tara's dad, Bill Doty. Hope you're having a good day, buddy.
What's up, Bill? And
hope your days get better. We also want to remind everybody to go check out Tailgate Connect. Dan Donnelly, the Tailgate Ninja, that's his website to get connected to all the big tailgates around the country.
And
next
he's
year.
a super funny guy. So.
And yeah. If only people could see our text conversations, it's odd. But go check it out. He is having a tailgate, an all-inclusive tailgate. He's selling basically advanced donations, advanced tickets to it right now.
You're talking about the one in UCLA that we're going to?
Yeah, the UCLA game. And if you're going to the UCLA game, it's definitely something to check out. I think if you use the code, can't remember what the code is. Sorry,
First-time user.
Yeah.
No, that's not it.
But it's $35 and it's $40 regular is what it'll be after the code. But it's
$5 savings.
It's definitely a good deal. Like I said, it's all you can eat and drink. If you choose the student option, Sooner Lisa, you cannot drink alcohol.
And Lori. Yeah.
Everybody who chose the student option, you must have ID to enter. So, but, also make sure and subscribe to us right now on whatever you're listening to. Go to YouTube and check out our videos. If you're listening to us on YouTube, thank you. We do put out a YouTube video about once a week when we all show up. When we all show up at Louis on Campus Corner, and we do a little YouTube video, so check that out. So, Caleb is back with us.
Long time.
Yeah, so let's go over, Caleb the prognosticator. What are the things that you have hit? You said that Jalen Hurts was coming to Oklahoma, and you said that after the Big 12 championship game.
Yep. After he came back with Georgia and everything, too.
Yeah. So that was the one Caleb hit that one, right? What was the
other one? Was Adrian Peterson, which is looking iffy right now. He signed a 2-year contract.
Yeah, so,
but he could get cut this year and still go play with Bob Stoops.
Yeah, so if y'all don't know that, Caleb has said that
still sticking with it.
Adrian Peterson will be the running back for the Dallas blah blah blahs, whatever they are.
I don't think they have a name still.
Yeah, they still don't have a name yet.
That's odd.
The Dallas Stoops. The Dallas Bobs. How about that?
I think he's for sure getting an Oklahoma running back. If not him, maybe I think Pirine maybe.
So Caleb is predicting that Adrian Peterson will be the running back next year for the Dallas Stoops.
Mm-hmm. Yep. Sticking with it.
Okay. Any other prognostications? Did you say did you have Odell Beckham going to the Browns?
I don't think that was too big of a surprise. That was like rumored for a long time.
And what about the Cardinals? Are they going to
drop Kyler?
They're going to take Kyler?
I don't know.
Yes.
I think they might trade the pick. I think the Raiders might actually be involved with that.
They're either it's either a done deal and they're taking him, or they've got a trade worked out with the Raiders, and the Raiders are going to take him.
I think it's the Raiders or Cardinals, so.
So it'd be hard to offload Chosen Rosen, wouldn't it?
No.
I mean, wait, they want. I think they want first. I don't think they're going to get that. I think they're going to get I think they get maybe a third, which is still a pretty good steal for Rosen. I think. Like the Giants off from a third. I think that's a good deal.
Yeah.
But one of the things that I wanted to talk about is last week's pro day.
Okay.
Okay. Are you ready for this, Caleb?
Yeah.
Okay. Number one, Oklahoma is obviously the mecca of football.
Well,
Right.
yeah.
Because I believe it was 60 press credentials, which was the biggest when Mixon had his pro day. Last year it was 80 press credentials with Baker, and that was the biggest last year. And this year it was 100 press credentials were given out.
Did we get us some?
No.
We didn't get any?
We weren't invited.
What were they thinking?
No. And
Man.
not only with that, ESPN and the NFL Network were both live in Norman during OU's pro day. I almost said Kyler Murray's pro day. Do we call it Kyler Murray's pro day, or do we call it OU's pro day?
I think you got to call it OU's pro day because, we had more than just Kyler involved.
We have
And we don't want to leave anybody out.
We have like 3 first-round picks probably.
Probably.
So, and maybe Forrest Mia has apparently climbed up the boards too. People are real impressed with him.
He's amazing. So, but the one thing that I think is on everybody's mind, Terry, is Kyler didn't run and Hollywood Brown didn't run.
Yeah. And
they're still injured. Is that it?
Well, Kyler didn't have to run.
No, but you run because
why?
let's see, how can I put this the right way? Because he's the am I right? Yeah. You run because you're better than everybody, you're faster than everybody, and you want to show everybody, listen, I'm better and faster and stronger than you. Right. If I'm Kyler, I run.
But if you're Kyler and you have a deal already worked out with the Cardinals or a trade deal worked out, and they say it's done deal,
I still run.
Why?
Because I want to prove to everyone that I'm faster. I would, but that's just me.
Oh, I think he wanted to show he could pocket passer. Because all he did was just stay in the pocket. He didn't move around or anything. It was weird. Just all drop back passes, and pocket passes. So I think running took away from that what he was trying to show. I think if you want to show how fast he is, just to look at my film, watch the Texas game when he outruns the whole team and runs like 70 yards in like 5 seconds, pretty much. I don't think it was that fast.
So tell me why you think he shouldn't have, or that he was right and not.
I think it was just told from the draft when we went to combine. They're like, people didn't think he could play on their center, didn't think he was pocket passer. So like his whole purpose was to show that he can throw in the pocket. That's all he did though. He didn't roll out.
Yeah, but once he did that, why wouldn't he just? And let me show
you
you
this.
Didn't
too. Have to. Well, I mean, how would you like it if you could just go to a job interview, because that's what it was, and go,
yeah, but
nah.
If I am the best one at it, whatever it is that I'm not doing, I'm still going to go, hey, by the way, also watch this.
I agree. I mean, I was highly disappointed. Okay,
I think everyone was.
Especially that he didn't run. He ended up not doing. There were people that said that Hollywood wasn't going. Marquise wasn't going to do anything, and that was done before. I didn't know that. I thought they were both. Marquise just showed up
in the boot.
And stood around.
Talked to coaches.
And I watched a deal on NFL Network this past weekend where he's predicted as the number 1 receiver now.
He still is. His game tape's too good.
Wow.
So
I'm just saying, it would be like Michael Jordan showing up at the combine and going, listen, I'm just going to shoot from the outside. I'm not going to show you that I can take you to the rim. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
And he just stays outside and shoots, and you're like, listen, I want to see you dunk the basketball.
So it's probably when it happened. What if he ran like a 4.5 or 4.6? Would that hurt him at all?
Well, yeah, probably.
I mean, because maybe he wasn't 100%.
Is there a snowball's chance
I don't think there's a
that
chance
he
does.
runs a 4.5
I
or 4.6?
don't think so, but now the question's in my mind.
Yeah.
Like if I'm an NFL scout and I'm like, well, why isn't he running?
Well, then they have Lamar Jackson last year. Lamar Jackson didn't run either because he wanted to prove that he was.
I think they all know his speed. They probably got, they don't have to verify his speed.
If anything, they can do it at the personal workouts.
Yeah,
when he goes to work out, they can do it there if they really want to see it. So I can run for you right now.
I want to see it.
I do too.
We'll probably never see it, but the coaches at the GMs, if they really want to see it, they'll probably do it for them, but we will probably never see it.
All right, so since Kyler, listen. You need to come over to Terry's house. We'll go right out in the street, okay? You can race Terry.
Yeah. Give me a 39-yard head
Go
start.
number north. Open track at number north. You can do that.
All right.
And then Anderson didn't do anything, which I think shows that he is.
Oh, he didn't do anything either?
Nope.
No, they said by
So he's not healthy.
they said
No.
by summer camp he'll be fully healthy. Is what they said. So
I mean, again, we talked. He's not getting drafted.
He's not getting drafted now for sure.
I think he's getting drafted.
If he goes to that combine and he runs a 4.4, he's getting drafted. But now that, I mean, he can't.
From what people are saying, like, I mean, 5th round pick. I mean, he's running back. It's a cheap pick, so it's like, I think he's gonna get drafted because the people who like watch his film's just too good.
It
Like,
is good.
Some people are saying that first half against TCU is one of the best films they've seen from a running back because we did that whole.
Oh, I'm
first
not
half.
saying that. I mean, I just think 4 years, 4 major injuries, 3 of those injuries put him out for the season. And I just think that that's going to be in the back of everybody's mind, and they're just going to go, hey, you know what? We can take him as a free agent, let him come on, and
Right. Let him prove
why
himself.
why spend even a $500,000 bonus on a guy you're not sure is going to make it through?
Yeah.
I would. I mean, I love the guy. Don't get me. I just, I feel bad for him because he's just had the worst luck of any
Right.
running back ever.
So really, he's just going to have to do it the hard way.
I can see someone draft him because they're afraid that if he's free agent, he can choose where he wants to go. So say the Patriots picked him up or something like that. I mean, that's one team might think about that. It's like, I don't want him going there because if he is healthy, he could be the best back in his class. So I mean, I think someone's going to draft him because of his potential when he is healthy.
Right.
Like
I
a late
agree.
round pick, not like if he is free agent, he can go anywhere. I think that scares some teams.
I mean, you're still taking a chance, right?
Yeah, I mean but it's not a big one. Like say if you have multiple 5th round picks, one's not going to hurt right there, or a 6th round pick, that's not going to hurt. Take a guy who has really big upside. It's just his health. I think it was a 1st round pick before this year started. Like he was the number 1 running back to a lot of people, and then he got hurt.
Well, and before he got hurt, I mean, he really showed what he could do. And he was well on his way to being a Heisman contender, I think. And, what's the award at the end of the year for backs?
Is it the Doak Award?
Duck Walker? Is it? No? I don't know. Whatever it was, I
We're
think
done.
he
We don't
definitely was going to be in the running for that.
Yeah.
And then obviously another injury, took him, took it all out of his hands. So
Yeah.
They're all been freak injuries too. They haven't really been just normal ones. They're all just weird, freakish stuff.
Yeah.
which I think helps him.
Yeah, because it's just like he didn't plant wrong, like he got hit. I mean, it's all been just weird. Got hit the wrong places. So I mean,
Austin Siebert didn't run a 40. I'm disappointed in that too.
I know you were disappointed that the kickers get a bunch of kickers out there running. Listen, are y'all running or what's going on here?
But apparently he did very well. I think the surprise or the one who made the most money. Who do you think the one who made the most money outside of that wasn't probably going to make as much? Who do you think made themselves more money?
Gosh, I don't know. From the things I read, probably Drew Samia. But really, I don't know.
yeah, I think it's Samia or Bolton. One of the two.
That's a Bolton.
Buzzy.
Yeah.
But
Yeah, what did he run? He like to run a 4.5 or something?
Yeah, he ran pretty fast.
Yeah, something like that. I think he's the 2
Jordan
years.
Evans.
Yeah, Jordan Evans of this year's class.
Just not quite tall as Jordan Evans.
Yeah, but I mean, he was, a quiet. Yeah, he's that pro day look, and I think just like Jordan did, he shined at pro day.
Yeah.
Got drafted and got on a team and was good enough to make the team and play. He plays
Yeah.
a lot.
He's a starter, right?
last year. Yeah, he started last
Yeah.
year. They got rid of Burfict because of him. I think so. I mean,
Yeah. I think Buzzy Bolton is good enough to make a team. I think he's good enough to get drafted. He may be a backup or,
Yeah, a specialist somewhere out
yeah,
there.
he's special teams for a little while. But depends. He's going to have to bulk up, I think, to play in the pros, don't you?
yeah, he's a little small.
I mean, a back like Mixon will run him smooth over. Or you think he will.
Yeah.
I mean, maybe not, but.
Well, I'm not going to say anything bad. He's going to the pros. I wasn't going to say anything bad. I was just going to make a snide remark, like wrap up. Maybe you don't get run over, but I mean, that's just my personal opinion.
Yeah, well, he's
Now-
He's had some issues, except in the Army game. He wrapped
Yeah.
up in the Army game, but
Well, here's the thing. Today we've got a fan that's going to be coming on here in just a few minutes that we're going to talk to. But one of our podcasts a couple of weeks ago, somebody posted that, I wish you guys to get off the defense. It wasn't a bad. It was just like, hey, the passing's gone. And I understand that. But Oklahoma, I don't know if you've noticed on social media and stuff, sure has been pumping the defense here the last couple of weeks.
well, they need to pump some excitement in it, don't you think?
Yeah. I mean,
Because
all stuff with Grinch, photos out there of the defense. I think it's a blaring, and everybody knows this, the blaring problem with Oklahoma is the defense. And so we're going to be talking about the defense tonight or today or whenever you're listening to this podcast. Caleb?
Yep.
Since you haven't been on in a while, what's your thoughts about the Grinch and what he's been doing, or do you think there's going to be any change or hope for change?
It's going to be different. It's just not sure. I mean, it's going to be better because I can't really be worse, can it?
oh, Caleb.
How
So
much
that's
worse
a
could it be?
buzzword here. We don't say that anymore.
That's what we said last year. We were 84th. We can't be any worse.
Well, I mean, what were we last year? We're
114th.
How many teams?
117.
So it's very okay. It'd be almost impossible to be worse. Almost impossible. To be
Yeah,
worse.
but not, right?
But it's not. But I mean,
Okay.
I just got to see it to believe it. I mean, the last year they're pumping it up too because we got Buki and we got all these like 4 or 5 stars kids coming in. And the first 2 games it looked good, and then it just went away. And so I just got to see it. And when I see it, it's going to take probably 4 or 5 games to convince me.
Oklahoma was 114th out of 129.
Yeah.
Oh, there's 129 teams?
Yeah.
Huh.
And that was the total defense.
I don't care about yards.
Our passing defense, guess where that was?
Second to last.
129th out of 129.
Oh, we're dead last.
Dead last in passing defense.
Okay, so we can't get any worse there.
Well, hopefully we got players playing the right positions, stuff like that too. And my biggest down one is turnovers. We had +9 on turnovers all year or something like that.
I think we got a total of 11.
Yeah, 11 turnovers. I don't think we're a plus anything, maybe even minus. Yeah, that's my biggest down. I just want to see turnovers because even if our defense isn't great, if you get turnovers with our offense, that's all we really need. Just need to get the ball back. So we can still be ranked like 80th or 90th as long as we get turnovers. I'll be fine with that for this year. Baby steps.
Yeah, I'd really be up in the top 50.
I mean, top 50 is like that's like a dream, but I think realistically 70 through 100 will probably be more accurate. But 50, that's like a perfect season pretty much.
I don't think it's going to take any time. If they're going to, if it's going to click, it's going to click.
It's true.
Yeah, initially everybody thought it was coaching. Okay, Mike's gone. New coach comes in. Well, not really a new coach, but okay, we're going to see a different scheme, and they're going to put guys where they're supposed to be. Yada yada yada.
It was more the same.
And it was just the same. It may have gotten worse.
It did get worse.
It did get worse.
It definitely got worse.
I don't think it would have been any better with Mike there.
I think that's confidence was all gone. Their confidence was just done. I think
And
out there.
So
Which is a part of it.
We don't like to fall back on the players, but now it's a player situation. We've got, I think it's something like 10 returning starters, or 10 guys with playing time. 10 Sooner starters return on defense.
I think only 2. I think 2, maybe 3 have set starting jobs. I think Motley, who's a freshman, who was a freshman that the DN freshman that was really good last year. Gosh dang it.
He had the blood clot.
No, not him. The one that actually played.
Then I don't know who you're talking about. Redmond was who I was thinking about.
But I think he's pretty locked in as a starter. And I think Murray, possibly.
K9?
What about Gallimore?
So I think everyone else is I think only one for sure says Motley. I think everyone else is going to be fighting for the jobs.
Good. I want them all to fight for the jobs.
Yeah.
Makes them better.
Because I think Murray's great, but apparently that white kid behind him is really, really good. And Murray might be playing out of position, too, is what they're saying. So they can move him around.
Well, I'm excited to see a change in philosophy, a more aggressive approach to defense, because that's what defense is, in my opinion.
Yeah. I don't think any Sooner fan would complain or would have complained. I know I would have, but I'm going to speak for all of the Sooner. I'm going to talk to you, Rob, and I'm going to speak for you, Caleb. That we said it last year. If we would just blitz every now and then, or hey, if they burn us and we had an all-out blitz, okay,
we gambled and we lost.
we gambled and we lost.
But if we don't and we still get burnt, then we gain nothing.
Yeah, if we're rushing 3 and a guy's 10 yards behind a corner, do something to rush that quarterback to so that guy can't get 10 yards behind.
Hey, you remember that time we played Texas and when the corner blitzed and we hit that punk from Texas in the backfield in the end zone? Yeah.
Something like that. Every now and then.
Caught everyone off guard because we never do that.
Yeah.
Right? Caught us all off guard. We were like, hey, what is that? What happened just then?
And Ruffin McNeil was taking a nap when it happened.
I don't think he knew what the call was, honestly.
The corner misread the call. He's like, hey, I think I'm supposed to blitz here.
But he might have saw him. Like, you know what? I'm just going to do this.
Yeah. And if it works, I'll be the hero. If it doesn't,
well, it worked.
We didn't call that.
And it was awesome.
My favorite thing from Grinch so far is that he's actually teaching the corners, or he's teaching them to play the ball in the air. So I like that a lot because that's a huge issue that they throw a ball up in the air. Our corners are still looking at the guy's chest while he's jumping up and making a catch. Like they're actually playing the ball. From what they're showing us, they're teaching playing the ball in the air.
Well, let me ask you a question right quick. What is one of your most memorable OU Texas plays?
Roy Williams.
Roy Williams. What was he doing?
He blitzed.
He was blitzing. Okay. I'm just saying.
Was Lehman blitzing too, or was he dropping back?
No, Lehman was in coverage. Lehman had the flats.
He was. That's why he got the pick.
Yeah.
Nice. I'm just saying he was blitzing.
He was blitzing. He wasn't supposed to leave his feet, though. He got in trouble for that.
I know, but we should learn something from this.
Yeah. But, yeah, it's. I think that's the most frustrating part is that Oklahoma has watched a vanilla defense, non-aggressive, just back on their heels type play, and it's time for hopefully the mentality and the aggressiveness and the speed and the schemes will be something that makes the game more exciting on the defensive side of the ball, and like Caleb said, create 18 turnovers next year, 20 turnovers next year.
Get at least one turnover a game. I mean, 11 turnovers, 15 games? 14 games? That's terrible.
Anything that happens exciting, we're going to be in love with that. Because how many times were we watching games and we were just like, okay, please just get one stop. Just one stop, just please. And we're just.
If you can just stop them here, guys. Just stop
if we get one stop, we're happy.
Yeah.
We're not even talking about the big plays, like a pick or a fumble or knock the quarterback out. Of the game.
Or even field goals. Like, they got a field goal out of this. Oh, yeah, the red zone defense.
We held them to a field goal. Defense, anything like that. We weren't expecting it. We were just, please just get a stop.
Yeah.
So
get off the field.
I think we're dead last in pass defense. I know for sure we're dead last in red zone defense. So, I mean, that red zone was just terrible. Like, the guy in red zone's like, all right, they're going to score. There's no point of even, it was terrible.
So, going forward this year, obviously, we all think they're going to be better, do we not?
Yeah, I think they'll be better. They're real young last year too. Like as we said,
I refuse to answer on the grounds that I'm not going to drink the Kool-Aid.
Don't be a sissy.
After the Texas game, no, I'm holding to it. I've done it 2 years in a row.
All right. How long is it going to take, Caleb? What's the over/under on how long until he drinks the Kool-Aid?
I think probably the Texas game because that's when I think before last year. It was Iowa State last year. We kind of got seeing a little bit of it, and then Ellinger ran all over our asses.
So what's that? The 5th game?
Yeah, 5th or 6th.
All right, so everybody listening, the over and under on when Terry drinks the Kool-Aid is the 5th game. So are you over or are you under on that?
I'm either drinking the Kool-Aid or I'm throwing the pitcher out.
You got to be honest, though. You got to be honest. That's key.
Yeah.
All right.
So one other thing, Caleb, before we let you go and get the fan on, is Jalen Hurts 100% going to be the quarterback next year?
Yeah, I think that's already done. I mean, the whole. I think he'll be captain too. I mean, I think he's. I mean, this is just as obvious last year as Conroy was last year.
So Spencer Rattler is.
He's not even in school yet.
But what if he comes in May and just lights it up? Comes in and
I can see him still lighting up. I mean, but apparently everything saying from Jalen Hurts, he's been really better than what they expected so far.
So no chance.
No, yeah,
for any quarterback.
There's a reason why Lincoln went recruited though and brought him in here. Like he brought him here for this 1 year. Like he wouldn't have came here, Lincoln would have recruited him if he wasn't going to be our starter. He would have kept Austin
Rob?
Kendall.
So there's a chance, and the chance rests on this. Can Jalen Hurts throw those downfield passes? Because there's a reason they lost his starting job at Alabama. Now, that reason could very well be that Tua
Tagovailoa.
whatever. Yeah. It could be that he was just really, really good. And I think he is. Don't get me wrong. I think Tua is a very, very good quarterback.
He was the second best player in the
second best player in the nation last year, wasn't he? Okay. But can Jalen hit those passes? Because if he cannot, everything rides on that offense for him to be able to throw the ball downfield, to read that defense and know who's going to be open.
Yeah.
Can he do that? Can he not do that?
I've heard they're already trying to change it up to make him more of a power offense because he's so big. Like he's gonna be bigger. He's gonna be the biggest player on the field when he's out there.
Well, hopefully
So, I
that's
mean,
not because he can't do it.
Well, it's
You know
because
what
they
I'm
can, but still they're going to change. I mean, I think we'll have more like the Texas offense, how they have run first with Ellinger. I think we'll be more like that. But more
Well, I mean,
dynamic.
Oklahoma, to everybody's surprise, except Oklahoma fans, is not a air raid defense.
We run it more when we throw it.
Yeah, and run it more effectively. And now we're putting a big, strong running quarterback back there that's going to make it even more dynamic. That I think that I'm with Caleb. It's going to be even more of a run first offense.
Yeah. Yep. But he's still going to have to be able to throw the football.
From what they're
Then
saying,
again, hell, we said that last year.
About
Is
Kyler,
that Kyler?
he said-
Oh my God, we're going to have this running attack.
I trust.
We didn't.
I trust. I mean, I trust Lincoln with the quarterback play and the ways he gets people open. That is going to work. Because before Baker came here, he wasn't very accurate. Before Kyler came here, he wasn't very accurate. Baker set the passing record for accuracy. Then Kyler broke it the next year.
So Jalen's going to break it.
Jalen
this
probably
year.
won't break it, but I think Jalen's going to be pretty close. I think the offense that Lincoln runs will get people open, and he'll hit them.
So if that's true, if Jalen comes in and he's accurate, probably not going to be as accurate as Baker or
But
Kyler.
we said that last year about
But
Kyler
if he's
Baker.
good and the offense is good, he's got a real shot at the Heisman,
Yeah.
and he's got a real shot at, I think being a first round or the first
pick.
Yeah.
Well, he's going to go against his old teammate too.
But
right there.
I don't want another Heisman. I do not want another Heisman until we have a national championship. Period.
Yeah, but I would take
Oklahoma
one.
should take their men out of the Heisman race until they win a national championship.
I would still take a Heisman. I mean, I'd rather have a natty, but I would take a Heisman
It's better than nothing.
because based on that Heisman, you're going to get some players.
Yeah, your brand's out there like nonstop. Like I said, like I only from what they're saying too, like people who watched Jalen play, like who didn't think he was a good passer, they go watch him and say he's a lot more accurate and has a stronger arm than I thought he did. I guess last year they had a new coach and he kind of fixed his mechanics too. I didn't get to see much of it because he didn't play that much, but
Yeah, but isn't that what Lincoln does?
yeah, I mean that's what Lincoln does too.
So
I mean, like I said, Lincoln went and got him. He obviously thinks that he can whatever he needs to do with him, he can do with him. So until Lincoln's like wrong and shows it, I'm not going to bet against him.
I wouldn't.
I'm with you.
And if let's just say Jalen's a good quarterback, Lincoln makes him great.
Great.
Yeah.
And I think I do think the Big 12 defenses help a little bit.
And since it is March Madness, we got to throw this out there. Do you know what that means?
Something about basketball.
No, it's a month closer to football season.
Oh,
So,
all right.
Hey,
Good job on the picks today, by the way. I seen the bracket.
Yeah, my bracket.
Yeah, I think we got a real shot with
go
that.
go check out our bracket. We put it out on Blinken Riley's. He's doing a pick 'em against him.
Oh, he is?
And I just showed him our bracket, so you can find Blinken or look for our tweet and see our bracket and see how wonderfully mastered it is.
No, I would get murdered because Caleb and I were talking, and I said, I think Duke and North Carolina, but other than that, I really don't know who's good or who's not.
Yeah.
So.
Oklahoma's in it. So
Yeah, I don't have a lot of
So shot there 9 seed,
confidence.
yeah. So, and I guess tonight's the play-in games.
Too. Yeah, 2 playing games are
Yeah,
tonight.
like Prairie View A&M and shipmates from Nebraska and
The old bug eaters? The Nebraska bug eaters.
so Caleb, is there any
Got 2 things.
2 things?
As I told you before I came on, I guess the lines came out for like the 20 biggest games of college this year, and OU Texas came out, and OU's a 13-point favorite. You guys thoughts on that?
I don't think it's enough.
You don't think it's enough?
No.
Listen, that was a pretty good defense at Texas last year, and they didn't lose anybody except
lose
that
no
girl
one.
Brooklyn.
Yep, and that might actually be an improvement because apparently everyone says that when
Right?
everyone says he is always out of placement.
That's going to be a pretty good defense.
And I think their offense is gonna be better too. And I hate the Ellinger guy, but I mean he kills us. So I mean I can't really.
I don't know if that may be too many points.
I think.
I hope it's not enough.
I think it's right
Yeah.
now. I think right now it should be pick 'em right now personally because we don't blow out Texas, especially in the Cotton Bowl.
Now hold on.
Hold on.
Hold the phone, Caleb.
I mean, we're probably ranked number 5. They're probably ranked 6. They're right with us.
No.
I mean, they're right there. I mean,
But don't say we don't blow out Texas. We have
63-14.
we haven't blown them out in a long time in the Cotton Bowl.
Okay.
Okay.
It's been a long time since we blown. Even when we were supposed to.
What did we beat them in 08? That was the
That'd
Sam
be-
Bradford game. I don't know.
I don't remember.
Oh, that's when they had Colt McCoy.
Yeah.
And they beat us.
They
that
beat
year.
us.
They beat us that year.
Yeah. And then they blew us out next year.
So
Anyway.
yeah, I mean, 10 points. I can see that.
Like I said, we were 10-point favorites last year and we lost. So
Yeah.
I mean,
but then beat them in the Big 12 championship
By
by
12.
and the Cotton Bowl, we haven't. I mean, we even when we won 2 years ago, we were 10-point favorites there. We won by what 3, 4? We
Yeah.
really won that game. So I mean,
Yeah, but I was there one year when we were 0-5. We had lost to Tulsa. We lost at home to Tulsa, and they were either the number 1 or the number 2 team in the nation, and we tied them.
Yep.
Do you remember that?
That was
Yep.
Kelly Gregg's year.
Yeah.
And
They
I
were-
said, I mean, I think he's going to win, but I think this is the best Texas team we've played in a long time.
Yeah, they're going to be good.
So I mean,
No, but they do have the Tom Herman factor.
Tom Herman. If you're underdog, Tom Herman wins. So hopefully they're favored then. 'Cause Tom Herman
So-
always wins when he's an underdog. It's
So
stupid.
what's your other
Oh,
point?
the Tate Martell guy. He's clear to play, for Miami. He's not sent out a year.
Oh,
So it's kind of a game changer, I think, in the whole college system. A guy transferred and didn't have to sit out a year at all.
that is interesting.
So pretty much,
How'd you get that?
he made BS reason. Like it's a real BS reason about how
Oh, it was a baseball racist thing,
no,
wasn't it?
that was the guy who went from Georgia.
Georgia,
to Ohio
okay.
State. Yeah, he went from Ohio. He had no reason at all to be playing. He asked for it. I didn't read all of it, but pretty much, I guess. It's not really a good reason to do it. Like no one thought he was going to get accepted. They accepted it, so he's eligible to play this year, which is huge. Which also would be bad for a lot of college teams now. So, because if he gets able to play without sitting out a year, it's free agency pretty much then.
Yeah.
I guess we'll see.
All right, okay, and one more thing. Did y'all see?
Oh, 3 things.
Sorry, did y'all see Nick Bill Belichick today at Alabama?
Yeah.
He's wearing the Alabama pullover.
He's wearing an Alabama dry fit. RJ put it out. Another reason to hate Alabama, and I was like, but I put out that's why me and Rob don't wear dry fit because you could see every.
Oh,
I
thanks
mean,
for that.
Belichick goes
I called it chubby boy problems. Some people you don't wear dry fit.
Right.
I don't
Yeah,
wear
I
dry
don't.
fit
For
anymore.
sure I
because
don't, but-
it fits too dry.
I don't think he cares because I think last week he was on beach just rocking that man bod like hardcore. So I mean,
Listen, if you got $100 million in the bank,
have you seen his girlfriend too? His
you
girlfriend
can just hang out with your out, and it's okay.
He has 6 rings. It's probably the greatest coach. He probably has the best coaching job ever this year with this team. And then I think his girlfriend's my age. So I mean,
Well,
he's not really losing
and
much
then
in life.
I also saw a report today that they may be doing this. It was on or it was an ESPN report. What's the owner of them Patriots?
No, Bob Kraft. They
Yeah,
offer
Kraft.
him a deal.
Well, the deal is they will drop all charges if they will admit that they would have been found guilty in a court of law.
Just do it.
What kind of deal is that?
No, they're just telling they're wanting the embarrassment
They want
factor
embarrassment,
that we will drop it if you admit you did it and that you would not have won. They're just basically saying, why spend the money? These guys are going to buy their way out anyway. But I like the idea. Is you know what? Hey, stand up in front of everybody and say, yeah, I own part of a massage parlor because they've got videos of him.
It's not own part of it. He was just in it. 'Cause if he owns part of it, then he's in big trouble because that's how the prostitution thing happened.
But I mean, it's an embarrassment factor that he has to stand up before everyone and admit that he did it and that he wouldn't have won in a court of law and make his apology, and they're going to drop the charge. He's not going to go to jail.
You
but
do that? I mean, you do that?
I wouldn't be in a massage parlor.
I wouldn't either. But would you do that? I mean, would you be like, yeah, okay, yeah, no fine, no jail time? I mean, yeah, I did that, sure.
I mean, everyone forget about it like within 2 weeks too.
Yeah.
Yeah, but the Belichick thing makes sense though because him and Saban are boys. Like they're like real like best friends. Pretty
I
much.
like to, somebody said that Belichick was there getting defensive information from Mike.
Yeah.
Maybe. Who knows?
Well, Caleb, thank you for joining us. We've got our guest to get on right now. His name is Jefferson Simmons, and we're going to get him on the line right now and talk a little Sooner football. All right, Sooner fans, we have on the phone with us all the way from the Little Apple in Manhattan, Kansas. We got Jefferson Simmons on with us. Boomer Jefferson.
Boomer Terry.
How's it going, man?
Oh, I cannot complain. Excited to be on with you guys and talk some Sooner football.
Well, first off, the obvious question is,
how in the world did Kansas State win the Big 12 championship? Oh, is that not where you were going with that?
No, that's not where I was going.
My bad. Okay, all right, never mind. Strike that. Delete.
How did you become a Sooner fan in Manhattan, Kansas? How does that happen?
Well, my house is divided. My dad grew up in Tulsa, Oklahoma, and he went to OU as a Sooner. My mom went to Kansas State, and so we live up here, and I went to Kansas State, but growing up, we went down to Norman for a lot of games, and that atmosphere is just so electric, so fun to watch, and frankly, it's a lot easier to be a Sooner fan, so, yeah, I mean.
Yeah, it is. Yeah, it is.
Yeah, I mean, I remember being maybe 10 years old, seeing Sam Bradford kind of starting to emerge, and he was just such an awesome guy, great role model for especially kids that age. And from that first season I watched him on, it was pretty much every single weekend. I wasn't going to miss it for the world.
Yeah. So did you go to Kansas State games at the same time? Like if Oklahoma, if Oklahoma was playing in West Virginia, did you go to a K-State game because of your mom, or did you ever don the purple and silver?
Oh boy!
Or excuse me, it's not really purple; it's baby purple or powder purple and silver, isn't it? It's not. It's not like Viking purple.
No.
Listen, purple.
As long as
purple.
OU and K-State weren't playing each other, I'd always cheer for my alma mater. But OU was definitely number one. If OU rolled into town, I was putting on my crimson and cream. Even going to the game with my friends here at school, they give me a hard time. I'd show up in my OU hat and stuff. And they're like, "Come on, man, you go to K-State. Can't even help us out a little bit." But there's no question in my loyalty. And if you guys remember that last time OU played at K-State, it was a pretty intense game. Rodney had that game-winning touchdown right there at the end of the fourth quarter, and oh man, it was a rowdy crowd, and I was right in the middle of the student section in all my red, and yeah, it was one I'll never forget. So,
do you take a lot of heat?
Yeah, I do, but I grew up and I was used to it. The thing that there's a lady at work I was talking about this the other day. KU has been so dominant in the Big 12 in basketball for so many years, and they're having a down year. They lose one, and people are giving them so much crap, and it's like, you know what? They kick your tail every single year. And that's how I felt in growing up in this area, being an OU fan. The once in a blue moon OU would lose a game, I would get 15 texts. Oh man,
yeah.
What happened to your Sooners? But it's dead silence when they win the other 11 games each time this season. So I grew up with some tough skin. I can't tell you how many times people said, "Hey, do you remember that 2003 Big 12 championship game?" And I'm like, "Well,
yeah, we played in the national championship game right after that."
Yeah. Well,
yeah,
but no, it's no harm, no foul. I do pull for the Cats any other time as long as they're not playing my Sooners.
It sounds like you deal with a lot of stuff that we, Sooner fans here in Oklahoma who have friends who are Oklahoma State fan, or excuse me, Okie Stank fans, that if Oklahoma State happens to beat us, of course you get all the, Facebook posts, the texts.
Oh, they're like roaches. They come out of the woodwork.
They come out of the woodwork, and it's like,
Oh,
okay,
yeah.
that was number 16 out of 112 that you've won. Come on.
Right.
That's all, and
That's
they always go, that's the only thing you can say. You can't give us any credit. Well, you've only won 18 games.
You don't deserve any credit. Just go and do wrestling and meat judging.
meat judging.
I love getting on Twitter and seeing some of the conversations that go on there. I remember last year saying Lincoln Riley has the opportunity to tie Mike Gundy in all-time Bedlam wins, and it was like ... in his second year. And he did. Good. And he did, so.
Hey, be sure and tell your mom there's plenty of room on the schooner over here. She can just come on and don the crimson and cream. We won't hold it against her.
Yeah, I'll be sure to pass the message along.
Does she ever root for Oklahoma, or is she purple through and through?
No, she's the same way. She and my dad have mutual respect. It's as long as their two teams aren't playing each other, they're pulling for the other one. Helps keep the mood light in the house. So.
Okay, well, tell me this. Okay, the Kansas State hired what's his name, Chris Kleiman. Is that how you say his name? Which I thought was a pretty good hire. You got the best coach in FCS. Out there. Kansas State fans seem to be a little bit ticked off about it. I mean, or at least that's the way that's the information we got down here.
Did they want the son, Bill's son?
Yeah, Snyder's son?
Oh, right. Yeah, it definitely did have a little bit of pushback here in Manhattan when that first got announced, but no, at least the people that I associate with were really happy it wasn't Sean Snyder. He'd been here for so long and was the special teams / co-head coach, and people were pretty ready for K-State to make the next step past the Snyder era. He was a fabulous coach, but kind of really let up on the recruiting trail the past several years, and so. It was just good to get some new blood in here, and so I don't know too much about this guy. I haven't watched any of his games, but I think that he's come in and has a lot of energy, and that is starting to really get some traction with the K-State fans, and they're pretty excited to see what's going on because the players seem to be responding to him, and that's the most important thing. So,
well, I
think it'll be good.
Here's what concerned me about K-State was that they were, and I'm glad they, the change finally did make, because I was extremely concerned that Bill Snyder would never retire and they would never fire him, and he was going to be mummified and embalmed and put on the sidelines and still be the head coach. It just
Weekend at Bernie's up at KSU.
Right? Weekend at weekend at the Schneiders. Because it just, because he left and it didn't work and he came back. And, and I think I used to not like him. I thought but as he matured as a coach, he matured. He just he became, I don't know, likable, respected. But I mean, he just didn't seem to have that arrogance that he had before. But on the other end, he had every right to be arrogant because you brought the worst football team in college football history and made them a powerhouse for a while, and
for
made
a little bit,
and even now they're respectable. They're not the K-State.
It's not a
of old.
pushover.
Yeah,
you got to play. You got to play football to beat Kansas State.
Yeah. So.
Right. Yeah. I mean, there's Bob Stoops had 9 home losses as an entire tenure, and I think maybe 3 of them were to K-State.
Yeah,
so,
we don't talk.
And I was there.
We don't
for
talk
2 of
about
them,
losses at Oklahoma. So
that was. Oh man, those games were a long drive home. I'll tell you that. but anyways, we're here to talk about OU football.
Yeah, OU football. So what? Well, one more thing. What is your what's your favorite OU story? Or everybody seems to have that moment or that time that they, will never forget. And you sound like you're saying that you were 10 years old and when Bradford was there. Obviously, you're a lot younger than us, but
Right.
I think we're about the same age.
Yeah, you have a lot more to go. But what has been your Sooner magic moment or Sooner moment that that is set in your mind so far?
I mean, probably the single most exciting time I ever thought was the last time, or the time before this bowl season when we played Alabama in the Sugar Bowl and Trevor Knight got that win. I just couldn't believe it. I remember watching the pregame and they showed a map of the United States, and 49 of the states had Alabama predicted to win, and there was one red state right in the middle, and they said, "Oh, you've got it." And I remember hearing those announcers going down and saying we're going to get shut out, and I was so mad. But oh man, that was such an incredible night, and that was pretty sweet.
That's a good memory for me as well.
Yeah, and saying you're right. The older you get, you'll have so many of those that you can't pick from them, and you'll just
we're Sooner fans.
Yeah, eventually,
right,
Jefferson, you'll get to the point of me and Rob. We've been friends for 20 years now. We sit around and we'll talk about the same games over and over again.
Yeah.
It'll be like,
yeah.
we bring up the Alabama game, we bring up the A&M game.
Or we'll be like, hey, you remember that time that Texas lost to Kansas?
Yeah.
That's a good one.
Yeah, that one always comes up. And then there was the time when Oklahoma State had a 30-point lead against Texas and at halftime
and choked it off.
Yep.
Oh yeah.
So,
well, I'm sure excited for football season. I think the Big 12 is gonna, it's gonna be dramatically different. New coach at Kansas State, new coach at West Virginia, new coach at Kansas, new coach at Tech. So it's gonna be an interesting year.
Well, now we talked about this a little bit earlier before we got you on, but what was your take on the OU Pro Day? Now, Rob, give him your thoughts on Kyler Murray.
If I'm Kyler, I run to show that I am better than everybody else. That's just me.
Yeah.
But now, what are Jefferson? What are your thoughts on that? Do you run?
Yeah,
do you think he has a deal set up to where I don't have to do anything?
Okay, yeah, I actually thought it was a good move. When I'm watching stuff on the media about Kyler, there's just that narrative that he's the running quarterback, and Lamar Jackson kind of had a little bit of that stigma too. But everyone knows Kyler could run, and I don't think if he came out there and ran a 4.3, any NFL GM was going to have a revelation and say, "Man, that Kyler Murray guy's fast." I think everyone knows that from turning on the tape. And if he went out there and ran a 4.39 or 4.4, really, I think all he could have done is hurt himself. So he stepped up there and made every throw on the field. I think he threw 67 passes and completed 64 of them or something.
Yeah, beat Baylor. Beat Baker. Baker.
Yeah, and it's like, man, he was 70% guy all year long. But all anyone's talking about is how he can run, and it just kind of showed that, hey, he could fling it 50 yards down the field. He can make a throw on the run 40 yards over the Alabama DB and hit Charleston Rambo in the back of the end zone.
Yeah.
I mean, he's got it all. I don't know what else they could ask for him, but my thoughts are he's got to be the number one pick.
So who was more nervous during his passing, his passing at Pro Day? Kyler Murray or the guys having to catch the passes?
I think the guy's catching the pass. Yeah, anytime you hear him talk, he's got all the confidence in the world. He was on. I'm going to blank on the show now, but one of the guys was asking him, "Hey, do you think if you would have played soccer, you could be a professional soccer player?" And it was without pause, without a doubt. He's like, if I would have picked it up, I could have done it. He's got all the confidence in the world, and he knew he was going to come out there and ball out. But those guys, I'm sure that they were nervous. They didn't want to
Oh yeah,
drop a
'cause
ball and let their leader down.
Yeah, just think. I mean, if you're a receiver and you just have a bad day, you got the pan hands out that day.
Yeah, but even if they drop
Well, yeah,
it in the passes there,
yeah, and there's every NFL team represented there, and they're not just trying to put on for Kyler, but they want to also show what they can do a little bit, and so that gets you some jitters too, and can result in a few drops or something.
But
so.
were you disappointed at all that Kyler didn't run and also that Marquise didn't run?
Absolutely. I don't know about Marquise with his foot where he's at, but I really, really wish that before those guys left, we would have seen them link up and run a 40 against each other. Because that would just be awesome. But I thought we might get to see it last year at the spring game, but it was not meant to be.
Yeah.
But yeah, I would have loved to seen that, and I would love to know what Kyler really can run. So.
Yeah.
But I don't think.
I want to see. I just want to see the training notebook. Just turn it to the M's. Oh, there's Kyler's 40 time, and turn it to the B's. There's Hollywood's. Now we know who's faster. But who do you think honestly is faster?
Yeah, I'd have to go with Marquise. I think that just watching him, being a wide receiver, you get to see him cut loose and go more than you see Kyler. But it just seemed like if Kyler had enough time, you just wait, and then boom, Marquise is 10 yards behind the DB, almost like clockwork.
Yeah.
And, when you see Kyler go, he is incredibly fast too, but I think Marquise would get a little bit of an edge on him.
Yes. I would love to see that race. I mean,
everybody wants to see that race. I'd pay money to go see that race.
No doubt. I would too.
It would, if they want to sell tickets to the spring game, just do that. Say at some point in time, we're going to have a race.
That would be pretty killer. I think that would help the attendance.
Yeah.
Yeah, and I think they should say, not only are you guys going to race, but we're going to turn these wild dogs out behind you. So we're really going to see how fast you are. You don't know how fast you are until you're running from something like that. Am I right?
Yeah.
Right.
But,
are you guys going to spring game?
Oh yeah.
Yeah.
All right.
Rob will be there for sure, won't you, Rob?
Yeah.
Yeah. Rob, he works at OU at the stadium, so.
Okay.
Are
you guys getting in line for the sale?
Negative.
I might this year. I did a couple of years ago. Have you been to the sale before?
I went last year for the first time. I think I got there at 6 a.m. and then waited 3 hours to get in.
Yeah, I was going to say, you got there at 6 a.m. It was 2.5, 3 hour wait then for you.
Yeah.
I'm not, because they won't let me buy it online.
I mean, are people there camping overnight?
Oh yeah,
for sure they are.
There's people camping. There's people that are there at like 4 a.m, 3 a.m. Now I wasn't there this year. Now the word is that they did limit what people could buy, or the amount, or the time. Something they put a restriction on it this year.
They put a 10-minute time limit up there on the scoreboard in the field house.
Oh, okay.
And it worked pretty good. There was, even waiting 3 hours to get in, obviously there's a lot of people that went in before me, and there was still a great selection. All the helmets were gone, so that was a bummer, but I got 2 jerseys and a pair of receiving gloves or something. It was pretty cool.
Yeah. Yeah, I mean, a couple of my favorite shirts I got there, they're OU baseball shirts that I got there for like $5 or $10. I mean, so
yeah, you can't beat those prices.
Yeah, I'm thinking about it. I don't.
It's a no for me.
Yeah,
just FYI.
I don't know why you don't.
Hopefully it's a little bit warmer this year.
I don't know why, Rob, you don't pull some strings and get us in.
Because I have no strings to pull. That's why.
Just like walk in, let me walk in with you and go over to talk to somebody, and I'll just go over and start buying stuff. See?
Mm-hmm. Well, we could probably do that. Probably not, actually.
So, but so you're coming down the night before the spring game?
Yeah, will depend what I can get off work. I might come down Thursday night, but we'll see. I'm definitely going to try to get there a little early and try to hit up that sale. So
yeah, well, we're working on a deal with Louis right now to hopefully have a little gathering at Louis there on Campus Corner the night before for fans who come in and want to hang out for a couple hours with other fans. We should have that finalized this Thursday night, and we'll let everybody know. So for sure.
Hey, that'd be pretty cool. I'll keep an eye. You guys put that on your Twitter page or something?
Oh yeah, we'll put it out on Twitter. It'll be on our website and stuff. Now, which reminds me, you said you have an Instagram account, right?
Yeah,
An OU.
Sooner Zone.
It's called the Sooner Zone, and you have 12,000 followers.
Yeah, it was just kind of a little hobby I picked up last fall, and just like you guys, disclaimer, not affiliated with the university.
Correct.
But yeah, it's been something kind of fun. Living where I do, I don't get chances like what we're doing right now to talk to Sooner fans very often. So it was kind of a cool medium for me to get to interact with other Sooner fans, and I love following the recruiting and what's going on with OU news, and so it's just kind of something fun for me to do in the evenings a little bit. So
okay.
Yeah, it's been fun.
Well, what's it called again?
The Sooner Zone.
The Sooner Zone.
No underscores and numbers.
Yeah, so if you're not following them on Instagram, which it doesn't sound like anybody is not,
Right.
but in case you're not, go find him on Instagram and give him a follow. Right now we're gonna kind of break for a minute, and we're gonna do the Sooner bucket of questions. Okay. Sooner bucket of questions may or may not be Sooner related. It may or may not be movie related. It may be some of the weirdest stuff you've ever been asked in your life.
It probably is more that.
It's just kind of a get to know you, other conversation starter here. So Rob's got the bucket out.
3 random questions pulled.
Okay.
All right, here's the number 1 question, Jefferson. Are you ready?
Yep.
Burger with fries or onion rings?
Fries.
Ooh.
That's the correct answer, sir. You're an onion ring guy, Terry?
Oh, I'm an onion ring guy, but you can't really get any good onion rings except at Sonic.
Really?
Yeah.
I'm not.
I actually love onion rings too, but burger and fries just goes great.
Yeah. I love a Sonic burger and onion rings for me.
Okay.
Now at Wendy's, it's a double with fries, but now do you use ketchup, mustard on your fries, or mayonnaise?
Neither. And if you use mayonnaise, then unfriend me
I
right
might
now.
do. I might do ketchup, but I'm usually just kind of plain Jane. Usually just eat them with nothing.
I'm saying that's kind of what I think about French fries. I'm that way with steak. If I have to have a steak sauce with my steak, it's not a good steak.
What about,
I agree with
if
you.
I have to have ketchup with my fries, they're not good fries.
what about barbecue sauce
Right.
for your ribs?
Well, duh. I mean,
Yeah.
I don't. I'm not sure. Never mind.
no, it makes sense, Rob.
Okay. Hey,
hey,
whatever, man.
A steak, if it's cooked right, medium to, a little less than medium, you don't need any steak sauce.
Okay.
If the fries are cooked crispy and the right amount of salt, you don't need ketchup.
Okay.
Am I right, Jefferson?
And
I agree. I agree.
Is there ever a time then when ribs need or don't need barbecue sauce?
Well,
Sorry, I didn't catch you.
Rob wants to know if there's ever a time that ribs don't need barbecue sauce, but ribs are cooked with barbecue sauce.
Not always.
Yes, they do.
Oh, alrighty. Okay.
They slab it on.
My dad actually, he makes a pretty killer recipe. He has a dry rub. Sometimes we'll make 2 racks, and one with the barbecue sauce and one with a real dry rub. And golly, they're both pretty good.
Yeah.
Okay.
But you're trying to compare steak to ribs. Really? Come on, Rob.
Hey. All righty.
Okay.
Question number 2.
Rob, just so Jefferson, you and I were right, Rob was wrong.
We're going to have to agree to disagree on that one, ladies and gentlemen. All right. Question number 2. Who was the coach in dodgeball?
Ooh.
Looking for his movie name.
That Patches O'Houlihan?
Patches O'Houlihan. If you can dodge a wrench,
You can dodge a ball.
you can dodge a ball.
When you guys said dodgeball, all I could picture was Ben Stiller in that tight outfit.
Hey,
Oh my gosh, that's a sight you can never unsee.
okay. All right.
But what was the actor's name that played Patches O'Houlihan?
Rip Torn.
Rip Torn.
Oh,
got it.
I don't know.
It's Rip Torn. That is his
Yeah.
actual name.
Yeah.
Rip
Okay.
Torn. Yeah.
Same guy was in Men in Black.
Yep. The boss of it. Now, Rob, what's your favorite line from Dodgeball?
I just said it. If you could dodge a wrench.
No, what was it? You throw it out there every now and then. That's a bold.
Oh, that's a bold statement, Cotton.
Yeah.
I like that one too. Yeah, that one's for sure. For sure.
Those are the two most iconic lines in that movie. Yeah.
For sure. Yeah. That is a bold statement, Cotton.
So, all right, Rob, question number 3.
Question number 3. How many days could you last in solitary confinement?
I can be pretty relaxing for about the first 12 hours, and then after that, I've got to probably start going absolutely crazy.
So less than 1 day.
Less than 1 day or less than a
Yeah.
half a day.
I would say so. I would kind of like a little bit of no contact from other people, but then after a while, yeah. I start to get stir crazy.
Now, this is kind of on the subject, but not on that. Have you ever been, Rob or Jefferson, to the Cave of the Winds up in Colorado Springs?
I've not.
Negative.
Okay, it's a cave. Okay, and it's windy. No, they take you. You know, you can go into this cave, and they take you to the back of it. Okay, to the very deepest part of it. And while you're sitting there, they suddenly surprise you and turn off the lights. Okay.
You surprised them with a knuckle sandwich?
And it is the darkest of darkest things I've ever seen in my life. You literally could not see anything. And then one of the bad things was somebody decided to take a picture with a flash during that, so everybody was blind for about 30 seconds after that. But they said that it was something like in 48 hours or in 1 week, because your eyes had not been used, you would be like blind, and within like 2 to 3 weeks you would be insane, because there's basically no sound. The sound of you scuffling around, but it was just so black that it would drive you crazy.
Okay.
I couldn't do solitary confinement. Then again, I couldn't.
That does sound pretty crazy. It'd be a nice little nap den for the first 2 hours, but after that, I mean, you see, in movies or something where they put them down in a hole or something, they lift it up, it looks like a crazed animal.
Yeah.
I'd have no business with that.
Yeah. First off, I'm too pretty to go to prison, so I'm not. I want nothing to do with prison. Rob, what about how long could you handle solitary?
I thought you were asking me if I wanted to go to prison. I'm like, solitary. Do I get a book or anything, or is it
No,
just
it's solitary. There's
Okay,
nothing.
yeah, I
Pee
don't
in the
know.
corner.
Man, that would be tough, wouldn't it? Yeah, you'd probably have to tase me to keep me in there, honestly.
Yeah. Or back in the day, remember the movie Cool Hand Luke?
No.
Oh my God, Rob. Jefferson, have you ever seen Cool Hand Luke?
He's
I
not
have not.
seen him. He's like 20 years old.
It
or
just
something.
doesn't matter. He could have seen it. Okay, both of y'all, homework assignment, watch Cool Hand Luke. But
I don't know about that.
anyway.
That didn't work out so well for my high school teachers. I'm just saying.
but they get, back in those days, they put them in the hot box. It was solitary confinement in a tin shed out in the middle of, the Alabama summer.
Ugh.
Ugh.
Oh, man.
Talk about solitary plus agony and no water. I think they gave them a cup of water and bread a day. So,
Living the high life down there, were they?
yeah. So that was the Sooner bucket of questions.
That was it.
Which makes, again, they make no sense. It's just to try to get to know Jefferson a little bit better. We know.
Did we grow there?
I know. We know he likes French fries, and and we know that Rob tries to compare steak to ribs. And he knows about dodgeball, and he could handle half a day in solitary confinement. So, see, we learned something.
12
about,
hours or so, yeah.
Yeah, we learned something about Jefferson we didn't know.
That was
right.
a good segment.
Yeah. So
I'm glad you think so.
now I want to get into the topic of, again, we've already kind of talked a little bit about the defense. I want to try to stay off the defense with this, but we're going to get into defense. So, folks, sorry.
Mm-hmm.
We've had a few people going, I wish y'all would get off the defense. Well, that's the only place we need to improve. So,
Yep.
here is my thoughts. Okay, I want to throw this out to Jefferson first, and Rob, get your little 2 cents worth in on it.
What if I have 4 cents?
Well, you only get 2.
Oh,
What if Oklahoma? Well, yeah, let's say what if the Oklahoma offense is just good this year? And when I say just good, let's just throw this. Oklahoma in 2018 had the number 11th ranked rushing offense, the number 7th ranked passing offense, the number 1 scoring offense, and the number 1 total offense.
Mm-hmm.
So when I say what if Oklahoma is just good, what if we are 15th rushing, 15th passing, 15th scoring offense, and then 7 in total offense this year? Which means that we would score instead of 48.5 points a game, we would score 37.5 points a game. What if with Jalen Hurts and a brand new offensive line, with the exception of Creed Humphrey, which are 2 big, huge question marks, what if Oklahoma is just good? What's going to happen to the Sooners? What does the defense have to do? What does Lincoln Riley? What are your thoughts, Jefferson, on if we're just good? Because we've been superior on offense to everybody else. Now we're just good.
I think we'd be just fine as long as we don't come in ranked 129th or 130th or whatever we finished in past years last year.
Correct.
As long as we are at the bottom of the barrel, I mean, golly, I think that defense, I know people get tired of, people talking about it, but really it robbed Kyler and Baker of the national championship, each one of them.
Yep.
But on the flip side, it probably got them each a Heisman, too. So they had to put the offense on their back each and every week. So,
yep.
But I think they'd be just fine as long as, if they could be also middle of the road in defense. I mean, how many of those close games that if OU would have just got one stop, I mean, golly.
There's that terminology again, Rob. One stop.
One stop.
We could just get. That's all we ask for is one stop.
Well, let me say this: that if the defense last year was just good, we've got 2 more losses on the board. You agree with that?
Yes.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So this year, I agree with Jefferson. If the defense is not improved, just good offense is going to get us 3 or 4 losses.
Right.
So
because instead of scoring 48 points a game, we're going to be scoring 37 points a game. And this year we gave up 33.3 points per game. So that equivalent, the equivalent of that is 2 losses. I mean, Washington State was the number 15th ranked scoring offense.
Mm-hmm.
Okay, and what they had 2 losses or 3 losses? They lost to
Washington.
Washington, USC. Did they win their bowl game?
I can't remember.
I can't remember if they did or not. But they had 2 losses before they got into bowl season. Yeah. Didn't win their conference.
So on the flip side of that, if the offense is just good, and I hate to say it that way, just good, because that means they're pretty good.
Yeah.
If they're just good and the defense is just a whole lot better than it was last year, then we are still contending.
Yeah, we're still contending.
Uh-huh.
What do you think about that, Jefferson?
I think that the scenario you guys described is something that could happen. Jalen in this offense is something dramatically different than where he's been at Alabama. I think that he is a huge asset, and I like what Riley did going out and getting him. But with a brand new offensive line, save for one guy, I mean that's huge. And there is a situation that we could be just good, But you put him, Baker, and Kyler in a room together, I think he's the 3rd best quarterback.
Oh, yeah.
But
without a doubt.
Yeah.
At the same time, though, I think that he does give OU a little edge when it comes to a tight playoff race, potentially, as far as getting in. Because I think that last year watching Kyler go against Tua was a plus for OU. People, TV ratings drive a lot of stuff in college football. And if we get a scenario where it could be Jalen Hurts playing against Tua Tagovailoa, I think that is a win for OU as far as getting a bid to the college football playoff. I mean, who would not tune in to see that game?
Yeah, I mean, if Oklahoma going into the Big 12 championship has one loss and they're ranked fifth, and let's say Alabama is ranked second, or Alabama is ranked first, Oklahoma will make the college football playoff if they win the Big 12 championship game, regardless of who's in front of them, because everybody and their dog will want to see that matchup.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
I mean, and honestly, I think, Oklahoma had some things play into their favor, Michigan lost and everything else, but that had a lot to do with Oklahoma getting into it. People wanted to see that matchup. Everybody wanted to see Kyler and
Tua, yeah.
Tagovailoa or whatever, Tua.
Yep.
Everybody wanted to see that. So Oklahoma was, if it came down to counting BBs, Oklahoma was going to have more BBs to get in, I think. And I think you're right, Jefferson. That's going to be the same thing this coming year. But I mean, I honestly think that this defense has got to be much improved. If Oklahoma, the only question mark I have with this offense this year is the offensive line. Everywhere else, every skill position, quarterback, and everything is fine. If Beanbo can build an offensive line, which he probably will, our offense is going to be just as potent as it always has been.
Yeah, I mean that O-line is what makes our offense so incredible. When they can set up the run and are just so dominant every single year, it just unlocks all the other stuff that Riley wants to do. But I saw something that I don't know if it's right or not, but I saw like a tweet or something that said every single replacement for the offensive line is bigger than the guy that played last year.
I think that is correct.
I'm pretty excited to watch old Bray Walker come out of his red shirt being 6'6", 338.
Well, bigger doesn't necessarily mean better, but
True.
But it definitely keeps people from filling gaps a little bit.
It helps. I'm not going to lie. It helps.
It's also going to be interesting seeing Jalen back there at 6'2", when we've gone from a 6-foot quarterback to a 5'10" guy to having a 6'2" quarterback back there is going to be interesting. But
yeah, and that with him being back there, I think the offense is going to be fine. I at the beginning of last year, I said our offense is going to be great. We don't have any worries. My biggest concern is that O-line. But other than the O-line, my biggest concern is his defense, because if we're just good with a new offensive line and we don't break every record again this year offensively like we seem to do the last 2 years, that's what's carried our defense into the Big 12 and into the national title race. If our defense doesn't step up this year, because we've seen what happens when Oklahoma plays the top teams in the country when their offense sputters. Georgia sputtered in the third quarter, got annihilated in the third quarter.
Yep.
Alabama sputtered in the first quarter, got orphan slapped in the first quarter. I mean,
that was brutal.
It was ugly. So when our offense, we have to have our defense just step up when our offense isn't going to be as good. And
hopefully they will.
Yeah. Do you Rob says with a it's just being an Oklahoma fan and being worried about our defense again is just
yeah, but you know what, this year I don't really feel like it's a stretch to say that they're going to be better.
Well, you can't be much worse.
And they can't be much worse. That is one part of it, for sure. But, we're coming in. We got a whole new deal. Everybody's going to get excited about it. I think everybody's probably excited about the new coach. So, I mean, I just feel like that they're going to be better.
I agree, and I am also excited for the new coach. And I don't know how many people listen into this podcast, but if Joe Castiglione does My only thing about hiring Coach Grinch is I think he's going to be great. Just please do not ever schedule Purdue. That was terrible to watch Ohio State against him last
Well,
year.
now, again,
man, they did not have the answer.
Grinch didn't call plays, so that wasn't in his wheelhouse.
That's true. That's true. I just had to put that little plug in there for the Ohio State fans.
But also, if Joe Castiglione is listening to this podcast, hey Joe, you want to say hi to Joe?
Hey Joe,
Hey, Joe.
check out the Sooner Zone.
I mean, he very well could be.
He very well could be, So, Joe, if you are, tweet about it. Just say, hey, I listened to it.
Hey, and Terry and I are open for interviews or,
Yeah.
tours, whatever.
Which reminds me, okay, I'm going through my emails the other day, okay, and this has happened to me twice. About 2 months ago, everybody has an Indeed account anymore, okay. I have on my Indeed account that, I get these emails. Hey, you have a job match, okay. When it has a list of jobs, and one of them was pro football player. I was like, what? Click. And it was some, I don't know the name of the league, but it's some, semi-pro league, and, they got teams.
Did you send your resume in?
I thought about it, but didn't send my resume in. Well, the other day, I get another one. You have some job matches. I click on it, and I'm just flipping through it. It says, football analyst, University of Oklahoma.
You know what's funny? Scotty Marco Polo'd me. Hey, Rob, here's your job, football analyst.
Did you look at it?
I actually did look at it.
And you're required to have 1,938 out or days or games or something like that of coaching.
Yeah.
At some level.
At some level, you need to have been a coach for
It didn't say
many
years, Jefferson. It did not say years. It said like 1,900 and something.
Well, how many games can you get in a year?
Yeah,
honestly.
I think it was months.
Right.
1,900 and something months. Or I don't know what it was. It was like,
They were looking for some experience.
yeah.
So,
Well, I'm glad they're keeping the standards high.
Yeah. It didn't have a pay rate on it, but it was breaking down film for the coaching staff or with the coaching staff. It
listen,
was
I
like,
can break down some film.
no, I could. I mean, is there a way that you think we could like figure out a way to?
Yeah, absolutely.
Get
Just
in.
send it in, and tell them that you coach
maybe,
Little League
maybe
football.
between the three of us combined.
There you go.
Hey, we coach some Little League football. We ought to be like,
Yeah,
we're in.
Yeah, we're in. Sterling Shepard, played for us.
Taught him everything he knows.
Yep, taught him everything he knows.
Just joking, Sterling, if
Hey,
you're listening.
whatever that pay rate is, I'm sure even splitting it three ways is probably more than I'm making now. So.
Yeah, so I just thought that was funny that Indeed thought that I had a resume match with, I don't know what in my resume says anything about coaching football, which makes me question Indeed. I don't know what,
Well,
there's probably my dream job out there, and because they think I'm qualified, I have a resume match to be a football analyst at the University of Oklahoma.
Mm-hmm.
So what do you do, Jefferson? Are you a
I'm an insurance underwriter up here in Manhattan.
okay.
So it's my first job out of college, and it's been a good fit so far. So
you
cannot complain.
You interested in a football analyst at the University of Oklahoma?
I would be severely unqualified, but that would be awesome. I think my dream job would be to be on the recruiting staff there, but I don't think that my qualifications probably stack up enough.
Well, do you know what I think would be interesting? Do you remember a couple of years ago, Rob, when Bob Stoops' house got broken into and his car got stolen out here at his castle?
Yeah, wasn't it his pickup?
I guess I didn't even know about that. Huh?
Yeah, it was his pickup. His car got stolen. They caught the guys that did it, and they didn't. They pled guilty, and they had 100 hours of community service. Okay, there wasn't anything big, but people were all tweeting out and putting on Facebook, their punishment should be to hold blocking dummies, at football practice, or make them go through football practice at OU. That should be their punishment. I think it would be, and I'm including myself, if some, because we all get upset about the Sooners. Some people more, some people than others. Some people carry it a little bit too far. But if some of these people, fans, that get on Twitter and just start ripping the defense or ripping the offense or play calling, that Lincoln Riley just send them a DM and say, hey, come over and break down the film for us this week.
Honestly, I don't know how it would work out. But
just if he would just shoot a DM to somebody and say, hey, meet me at 3:00. I'm going to let you break down. I'm going to put you in the film room, give you an hour to break down the film and tell us where we went wrong and tell us how to correct it.
You get like 2 minutes. If you're not sounding pretty good, you're out. All right?
And myself, because I've been critical, I mean, it would be like, oh, crap. No, Coach, you're doing a fine job.
Yeah. I promise you. Yeah.
It's just my opinion. But I think that would be hilarious just to, hey,
well, you guys know when you're at a game or especially hopping on Twitter, there's people that think they're experts out there.
Oh, yeah.
So.
Oh, I promise you, wherever I'm sitting at in a football stadium,
For sure.
I am within 5 rows of the guy who thinks Lincoln Riley.
The guy right behind you's got all the answers.
Yeah, and that he thinks that Lincoln Riley or Mike Stoops up in the booth can hear him when he's yelling at him.
Right.
Yeah.
You're just an idiot guy. Yeah. I don't know how to say it any worse than that.
And it just cracks me up, and we all do it. I'm not being, I'm not trying to be, I think all of us can carry everything a little bit too far, but there's just sometimes you're just like, man, sometimes it's warranted. Sometimes it's just, people talking to hear themselves talk, and myself included on that. Every now and then I like to hear myself talk.
Everyone that wants to be Mike Trout's agent, just raise your hand. Because, good Lord, did you see the contract?
Well, 500 and it's the highest, 500 something $1 million.
I think it's less than that. It's it's 426 million.
Oh my
or something
God! Okay, sorry, my
for
bad.
12 years. So I don't know how he's going to make do with that. I mean,
well, I mean, it's like we've talked about Lincoln Riley. Going, what's he making now? $6 million a year.
Yeah.
And people are like, well, if he would go to the pros, he would be making 9-10. I'm like, really? What can you buy with $10 million you can't buy with $6 million?
I think the same thing.
I mean, you can only spend so much money. I mean, so okay, he could buy a $6 million house a year if he made $10 million and be fine. I mean, it's to me when you start talking about dollars and jobs, it comes down to what you really want to do. Do you think that's ridiculous? Both of you guys, y'all think that's a ridiculous salary for any athlete?
You go first, Jefferson.
You say for the athlete or for the coach?
For the athlete.
Yeah, I don't follow. Were you guys talking about that? I couldn't hear too good. The MLB contract that came out today.
Yeah.
Yes.
Yeah, I mean, I don't follow the MLB too much. That is absolutely insane what it was. But also it's like, if he's making that franchise enough money with TV and whatnot, it's like those guys are the guys driving your business. You might as well pay them what they're worth. But I mean, that is an incredible amount of money. But the thing that is good is when you see the players that are, also really active in their communities and whatnot, and doing good things with it, being good stewards and using their platforms and their finances for a lot of good stuff. And so, and you do see a lot of that too. So. Yeah.
Rob?
Okay, so I got to be honest with you. This is one of my hot buttons. I'm a little opinionated on this subject. Listen, $426 million is more than that man can spend.
Right.
He does not need to make that much money. Okay?
Right.
You can make him rich. That's fine. I don't care. Let him be rich. But here's the thing. If you weren't paying him $426 million for 12 years, maybe we could get into a baseball game without paying $250 a ticket. I'm just saying.
That's true.
And maybe a hot dog's
That's
not
true.
$412. We can get a hot dog and a beer for, maybe $5 instead of, I got to take out a loan to get a hot dog and a beer.
I like your take. Yeah, no doubt.
I'm just saying that,
Okay, you guys have to understand something. Rob most of the time sits in here on the podcast, hands across his chest. He's either checking the phone, watching sports, paying attention to what's talking, puts this to it. Rob just sat up on the couch.
Listen, all right.
Tightened up his headphones and went rolling. Eyeballs got big.
I mean, seriously, do you know what it costs you to go to a Dallas Cowboy football game?
It's ridiculous.
Because you got to pay like $100 to park a mile away.
Yeah.
I'm not talking about you get to park next to the stadium for $100. A mile away, it costs you
Right.
$100 to park.
Right.
and a pizza's like 80
Yeah.
or something. I'm like, are you people on crack? Because that's not happening.
Well, see, I'm with you on that. I mean, that keeps the cost going up and up. And I'm one who, I love baseball. Okay, football is my first love.
As we both do.
And baseball. But the hardest thing to do in sports is to hit a baseball. I 100% agree with that. But it's baseball. How much physical activity are you doing in a baseball game?
Right.
If you're the ninth batter, you sit in a dugout for 2 or 3 innings.
A while. Sometimes a while, yeah.
And when you're out in the field, if it ain't hit to you, you're not doing anything. It is,
Right.
and it's America's pastime. It was the sport. I know the horse racing is the sport of kings, but it was the sport of Americans. I mean, everybody went to a ball game and knew all the players. And even when I was kids, that's what it was. You knew everybody. You knew all the players. And it's just not that anymore. You sit and look at that $400 million to play baseball, to any sport, it's ridiculous. Now,
I agree.
Yeah.
I'm like you, Rob and Jefferson. Fine, make him rich. People complain, no, this guy makes $60 million a year for playing basketball. That's ridiculous. I have a college degree. Well, then you should have trained to be a basketball player.
Listen, if I'd have been born 6'5",
Yeah.
I'm playing some college or some pro football.
Yeah.
I promise you that.
But it just doesn't have. I don't have a problem like I said with making them rich, pay them. But
Sure.
there's a limit to how much anybody should make playing a sport. So.
Yeah, I agree. And it also gets, I don't know, tricky, and I don't know all the ins and outs of the business. But then is there some CEO of the franchise, pocketing other cash that could be going to the players, could be going anywhere, and then I don't know. I don't even scratch the surface with that. But
and I know a lot of people have issues with how much college football coaches make. I don't. I mean, I do, but I don't, because like Jefferson, you brought it up. Lincoln Riley is generating millions of dollars of revenue every game he plays.
Well, if you don't pay him, you lose him.
Right.
And, that same thing can be said for the pro players. Mike Trout might not stay in an Angel if he's not making that top money. He might want to go be a Yankee or, whoever he wants to play for. I don't know. Doesn't matter. But I just feel like that's exorbitant, and the fans actually are the ones that pay for that.
Right. But, I mean, Lincoln Riley or any college coach earns his paycheck, because if they're not winning – there's no donations coming in. Oklahoma has one of the biggest alumni associations, one of the richest alumni associations. They bring in millions of dollars every year. Just go back 20 years ago when John Blake was here. I mean, the facilities were falling apart. They didn't have the money to keep it looking good,
Yeah. And you're not selling out every game, and people aren't tuning in to watch it on the weekends from home. And
right. And, at least with a college coach, he's generating that revenue. Every dime that comes into that football program is directly can be penciled back to Lincoln Riley.
Yeah.
So, I just wish I would have tried a little bit harder to be a football coach.
Or a professional football player.
Yeah,
Well, it's not too late. You're getting emails.
Yeah, I am getting email. So. I did get an email. I got a resume match to a pro football league. So
I believe
like
it's
you guys
time.
say, you haven't used up your eligibility yet.
Yeah, I haven't.
I believe it's time for yours and my favorite segment.
Yeah,
Sooner or not a Sooner.
Yeah, Sooner or not a Sooner. You know how this works?
I do.
Okay, just so those who may be your first time listening, we will give Jefferson a name, and that person is either a Sooner draft pick, I do hear that did go to the NFL and was drafted, or it is a guy's name, or maybe even a gal.
Some random person could be.
Some random person.
All right.
So, and these can go recent to
1938.
Yeah, 1938. So.
Wow. Okay.
There you go. We'll
give it a shot.
Are you ready?
I am.
Okay. Joe Don Looney. Sooner or not a Sooner?
Joe Don Looney. That sounds made up. I'm gonna have to say not a Sooner.
Oh, he
Oh.
is a Sooner. Joe Don Looney was a running back.
One of the best we ever had. I
And,
mean,
yeah. In 1964, he was a first round. He was the 12th pick of the first round to the New York Giants. So
Wow, starting off strong.
yes,
well, for us guys like me and Terry, the name Joe Don Looney is, it's up there.
yeah.
But for the younger generation, they don't really know who that is. In fact, I think Caleb would probably have a hard time knowing if that was
But Joe Don Looney is also one of the best football names ever.
right.
That just sounds like
That is.
it just sounds like a football name.
Like Dick Butkus.
Okay, let's see. How about Steve Sewell? Sooner or not a Sooner?
Steve, what'd you say last name?
Sewell.
I'll say Sooner.
You are correct.
Very good.
Steve-
Another running back.
Another running back.
Yeah.
1985, 26th pick in the first round to the Denver Broncos. Okay, let's see here. Kevin Devlin.
Kevin Devlin. I'll
Sooner
say
or not a
Sooner.
Sooner? Do what?
I'll say not a Sooner.
Not a Sooner. Extra credit if you know what he was.
I don't.
He was played by Alan Richardson on Blue Mountain State. He played for the Blue Mountain State Mountain Goats. Did you ever see that
All right.
that show Blue Mountain State?
I've never seen.
Yeah, it's a risque college TV show. So
All right.
okay, let's see here. Julian Washington.
Julian,
Washington. Sooner or not a Sooner?
I'll say not a Sooner.
Rob?
Not a Sooner.
Who was
I
Julian
know.
Washington? Do you know Jefferson?
I don't know.
He was a linebacker for the Titans.
Nope.
What?
Nope.
The movie
Nope.
T.C. Williams?
Nope.
Titans.
Nope.
Nope. Okay.
Nope.
Who was he?
He was LL Cool J. Played for the Miami Sharks
Oh,
in Any Given Sunday.
So what was the guy
Oh,
that I'm
okay.
talking about? The linebacker for?
His name was Julian. I don't remember his last name.
Oh, okay.
Let's see.
So on one of our past podcasts, we apparently talked about Rick Moranis, and we did not mention Spaceballs.
True.
So how did that happen?
I don't know. Do you know who Rick Moranis is? Don't you, Jefferson?
No, I don't.
He was the
The Dark Helmet in Spaceballs.
yeah. He's the Dark Helmet in Spaceballs. He was the little O'Shea brother in Little Giants, the coach, and
Oh, okay, I gotcha.
he was the key master on Ghostbusters.
And Honey, I Shrunk the Kids.
Yeah.
All right. Sorry about that.
Now Rob digressed. Let's see. How about the Sooner or not a Sooner? Jamel Fleming.
Oh, Sooner.
Oh, very good.
Very good.
He was a cornerback, third round pick to the Arizona Cardinals.
Mm-hmm.
Let's do a couple more. Rob, you want to do a couple more?
Couple more.
Couple more. Okay. Davin Joseph.
Davin Joseph.
Sooner or not a Sooner?
Sooner.
You are
Very
correct.
good. He unfortunately he played with Phil Lodholt on the same team. Was not the best offensive lineman on that team, right?
Right.
But was a very good one.
He was a first round. He was a 23rd pick in the first round to the Tampa Bay Buccaneers. He made the Pro Bowl in 2008 and 2011.
Well, you remember Phil Lodholt? That was one big boy.
He's still a big boy.
Still a boy. Yeah, just still
Yeah.
a big boy.
Okay, last one. Spencer Strassmore. Sooner or not a Sooner?
Spencer Strassmore. I'll say not a Sooner.
You are correct. Do you know who Spencer Strassmore is?
That name sounds familiar, but I don't know who it is.
Rob?
Nope.
Do you ever watch the shows Ballers?
No, I don't.
I don't either.
That's Dwayne the Rock Johnson. That's his character on Ballers. He was a former Miami Dolphin. He's now like an agent.
Ah,
So
Okay.
well, there you go.
well, that's it for Sooner or not a Sooner. You got most of them.
You did pretty good.
Yeah, you did pretty
Hey.
good.
Not too bad.
Yeah,
You missed Joe Don Looney, though, so
yeah,
I'm going to say overall.
That makes me feel bad.
yeah. That
Start off with a miss.
Well, see, now again, you've learned something that you can apply. Go look him up.
Yeah, you're going to have to Google him on up. You'll be impressed.
And that's one of the things we used to talk about last year is the generations, the younger generations, like yourself, Jefferson and Caleb. There are still so many great Sooners playing that you guys go, immediately. And then, but there's guys like Joe Don Looney and Joe Washington, which you guys have all heard of, like Joe Washington. But even,
Right.
some of the players,
So many.
back in the 70s and 80s that we hear and go, oh, yeah,
Lydell Carr.
Mm-hmm.
That was like I loved Lydell Carr.
Yeah. Steve Williams, Steve Dr. Death Williams,
man. Yeah.
There's so many icons in Oklahoma football from every generation.
Sure there is.
That, if you do happen to go and look up Joe Don Looney, you'll go, holy crap, this guy was a beast.
No, yeah, he was.
Yeah.
A long line, sir, of beasts.
Yeah. And the same way, it's just that your generation and the generation that we're living in now, we see all these great players, like Gavin Joseph and Lode Holt, but it's just this long list that we've got to see since Rob and I were, 7 years
it's
old.
It's a rich Sooner history. I mean, it really is, and that's
Hey,
part of the reason we're
on
Sooner fans.
On this topic, I got a question for you guys. Who is your pick for best OU quarterback of all time?
Ooh, Rob, go.
Man, yeah, all time. I mean, I can't just limit it to the last 20 years or something, because if you go all time,
Here's
I mean
a tough one.
Oh my goodness, all time. It's not going to be anybody from this era, and it's highly likely it's going to be. His name just jumped out of my head. He passed not too long ago, maybe a couple years ago.
Lieutenant Governor, right?
It'll hit me. You go, Terry.
Yeah. Well, that's a tough one because Oklahoma has gone through so many different styles of offenses.
Mm-hmm.
Okay. And I think each quarterback probably was in the right system and couldn't have played in the other system.
Maybe right. Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah.
I'm going to say Baker Mayfield because I think Baker Mayfield hit the only thing he didn't do was win a national title. Okay. But he was the more rounded full player.
Yeah, but that national title is a big deal.
Yeah. But, and here's my deal. The longevity. He played 3 years.
3 years.
Runner up in the Heisman and won the Heisman.
Broke some records.
And so longevity. And I think the thing that he brought that is very difficult that a lot of quarterbacks don't have is I think he was a better leader than any of them. Okay.
Yeah, I agree.
Now, could Baker Mayfield have won a national title in 1985 with the Wishbone? Not a snowball's chance in hell.
Not even close. He wouldn't be on the team. Are you kidding me?
So I think overall he's the best, but I think if you break it down, Baker Mayfield, I think, is the best pro-style modern quarterback that Oklahoma has had. But I think Jamel Holloway is a close win over J.C. Watts or Thomas Lott for option quarterback.
Mm-hmm.
And his name just went on my head. I was thinking of who you were talking about, Rob. The
And?
quarterback.
Uh-huh.
What's his name?
I'm telling you, I can't remember.
So there's just so much, but I think, I think he went to the worst team ever in the NFL. And no, I'm not a Cleveland Browns fan, nor will I ever be. But I think he's the best quarterback. He took Oklahoma quarterback to another level. I don't think Jason White and
Sam Bradford
were great.
Great.
Where Baker beats him is his leadership. Both of those guys were quiet leaders. You know what I mean? Baker was the in your face. Baker got the defense pumped up.
Yeah.
I think that his prowess on the sidelines is what I think makes him the best.
But I think you're right, Terry, as far as the generations, because people like Steve Davis, he probably couldn't play in today's system, but he was fantastic.
Oh yeah,
back then. So
Steve Davis running the option, man, he kept that ball in the belly of the fullback forever.
Man, it was just phenomenal.
Okay, I'm going to go to the Google because there's people screaming at us right now.
yeah, for sure there are, and I'm screaming at myself because normally names like that don't jump out of my head.
It's right on the tip of my tongue, and I cannot think of his name.
Anyway,
Jack Mildren.
I didn't
have to Google it,
so I might have to. Yeah, I might have to say Jack Mildren, but for sure you make a strong case for Baker, and you could make an equally strong case for Kyler, in my opinion, even though he only played 1 year.
The Jack Mildren, though, was more probably rounded because he was thrown into the wishbone before we ran the wishbone.
Yeah, and you could not catch him either.
No.
Like, he was quick. So
yeah.
See, he may not have been Kyler quick. But
so, Jefferson, you asked the question. So what's – did we throw you off with any of these names that you're like, who the heck are these guys talking about?
Well, yeah, I guess. But also, Terry, I got to agree with you. I think that Baker could definitely give a run for the best quarterback all time, but I think is by far going to live on as the most iconic quarterback of all time, especially if he gets a statue in Heisman Park of him planting the flag. I'm pulling so hard for that to happen, but, that moment will live on forever. And I should have used that for my moment when you asked me my Sooner moment.
Yeah.
But, golly, that one was cool. But, yeah, seeing him go through and break almost, any record you could think of, and then, when he left thinking, golly, never see anything like that again, and then Kyler coming to do what he did, it's incredible. I don't know if either of you guys are fans of the show The Office.
Yep. Yeah.
But, Andy has that quote in the last season where he's like, "Oh, I wish there was a way you knew you were in the good old days before you actually left them."
Yeah.
And I'm like, oh, man.
Well,
You got Coach Riley here batting 100% for Heisman's, Big 12 championships, all this stuff. And it's like, we are there right now, and both of those guys are generational talents, and we just happen to have them back-to-back years.
And Baker did something that nobody has ever done. He went from being a walk-on to winning the Heisman Trophy to being the number one pick in their NFL draft. Nobody had ever done that.
Nope.
Yep.
But listen now, the future here is bright.
Oh,
because Jalen's going to come in this year, and it could be a special season. And then right behind him is a guy that is put together the best high school career ever in Arizona.
Yeah.
So,
Oh, yeah. We went through the whole show without mentioning a Rattler. But, it's like, in my lifetime, what have we had now? 4 Heisman Trophy winning quarterbacks, and Spencer's rated higher than any of them coming out of high school. Just like, I am so hyped for him, and I think Coach going out and getting Jalen was really the perfect thing. I don't know if you guys heard about all the Justin Fields rumors, but
yeah,
what I heard was that he called and asked if he could come to OU, but he's going to be a sophomore, and Coach told him no. Said, hey, I've been recruiting this kid since he was a sophomore in high school, and Jalen's got 1 year of eligibility left. And Spencer's not getting to campus till June. I mean, that would be a tall task for him either way to get the keys and beat out Tanner Mordecai and expect to command the leadership of this offense. I say Jalen comes in, he's done it before, comes in, has a great year, and Spencer takes the keys, and yeah, it's going to be a bright 3 years.
Yeah,
for sure.
Well, see, and here's what I can't wait for. I don't know what they're called. The student section, the guys in the front row every year. That wear the capes.
bakers.
Yeah, and they go through the bakers' hats, and they had the mustaches, the bulldozer stuff. I cannot wait for when Spencer Rattler. What are those guys going to come up with? Because again, that's going to be if he lives up, which there's no reason why he shouldn't, lives up to his hype and his talent, he can be another icon and another one of the greatest names ever in college football.
I mean we were talking about cool football names earlier. Spencer Rattler, Charleston Rambo. I'm like, we got a couple cool ones on the team.
Yeah, there's a linebacker too. I can't think of his name that came last year that has a pretty cool.
No, he transferred.
That's right, he did transfer.
Yeah,
which upset me because I like guys with football sounding names.
All right,
but anyway, well, that's about all the time we have. It's Rob. Is there anything you want to throw out there?
We covered it all.
We covered it all. How about you, Jefferson? Anything else you want to top off or want to end with?
Hey, no, I think we got through it all. I sure appreciate you guys having me on.
Hey, no problem. We enjoyed it. Everybody, once again, remind you to follow us on Twitter.
Click that like button.
And click that like button.
Show some love.
And go check out, again, you probably already are, but go follow Jefferson on Instagram. The Sooner Zone is his Instagram handle, and obviously he puts out some pretty good stuff, so check him out on that. But we appreciate everybody listening, and we'll see you on the next podcast. Boomer Rob.
Boomer Terry.
Boomer Jefferson.
Boomer.
Good bullet, people! Both teams are trying very hard!
What the hell's wrong with you? Stop acting like a damn cheerleader. Sportsmanship, try it. Shut up.
Thanks for listening to the Sooner Football Fans Podcast. Sooner Football Fans Podcast is hosted by Rob Nixon, Terry Long, and occasionally Caleb Long. It is produced at the beautiful Podcast Palace in Norman, Oklahoma. Follow us on Twitter at SoonerFBFans and like our Facebook page at Facebook.com/Sooner Football Fans, and visit our website at www.SoonerFootballFans.com to read our blogs and keep up with our tailgating activities. Boomer Sooner, everyone.